Diving deep into the film that didn't just scare audiences, it shook the very foundations of cinema and left a permanent scar on an entire generation. We're talking about the one, the only, The Exorcist. Released in 1973, William Friedkin's masterpiece wasn't just another horror movie. It was a cultural phenomenon. People lined up for blocks, braving freezing temperatures just to experience the terror firsthand. And experience it they did. There were widespread reports of audience members fainting, vomiting, and even having heart attacks in theaters. Paramedics were often on standby. It was more than a film. It was a public ordeal, a shared trauma that people for some reason couldn't get enough of. So, what made The Exorcist so uniquely terrifying? It wasn't just about jump scares. The film taps into something far deeper, far more primal. It's about the terrifying idea that a pure, innocent child could become a vessel for an ancient, malevolent entity. It's the ultimate violation of innocence, the corruption of everything we hold sacred. The story, based on William Peter Blatty's novel, follows 12-year-old Regan McNeil, a sweet girl living with her actress mother, Chris, in Georgetown. Their idyllic life is shattered when Regan begins to exhibit bizarre and violent behavior. At first, doctors suspect a neurological disorder, putting her through a battery of horrifying and invasive medical tests. The scene with the arteriogram is, for many, one of the most disturbing parts of the film. A stark reminder of how terrifying the medical unknown can be, even before we get to the supernatural. When medicine and psychiatry fail, offering no answers and no hope, a desperate Chris McNeil turns to the last resort she can think of: the Catholic Church. This is where the film's central conflict truly ignites. The battle isn't just fought with crucifixes and holy water, it's a battle of faith versus doubt, science versus the supernatural, and, ultimately, good versus evil. Enter Father Damien Karras, a priest and psychiatrist who is wrestling with a profound crisis of faith following the death of his mother. He's a man of God who is losing his belief in God. When he's asked to assess Regan, he approaches the situation with skepticism, looking for any rational, psychological explanation for her condition. He represents the modern, logical mind confronting something that defies all logic. The scenes between Karras and the possessed Regan are legendary. The demon, Pazuzu, is cunning and cruel. It doesn't just use brute force, it uses psychological warfare. It taunts Karras with the voice of his deceased mother, exploiting his deepest guilt and sorrow. It's a brilliant, insidious form of horror that gets under your skin because it's so personal and so cruel. The makeup and special effects, created by the legendary Dick Smith, were groundbreaking for their time and are still shockingly effective today. Linda Blair's transformation into a grotesque, possessed figure is unforgettable. The head-spinning, the spider walk, which was actually cut from the original theatrical release but later restored, and the guttural, demonic voice provided by actress Mercedes McCambridge all combined to create an image of pure terror that has been seared into our collective consciousness. McCambridge's contribution, by the way, is a story in itself. To achieve that horrifying voice, she reportedly chain-smoked, consumed raw eggs, and even bound herself to a chair to simulate the feeling of being trapped within the demon's rage. Her performance is a chilling, often overlooked layer of the film's power, but the horror of The Exorcist wasn't just confined to the screen. The production itself has become the stuff of legend, surrounded by tales of a supposed curse. A mysterious fire destroyed most of the set, yet strangely left Regan's bedroom untouched. Several people associated with the film, including actors Jack McGowan and Vasiliki Maliaros, passed away before the movie was even released. Ellen Burstyn, who played Chris McNeil, suffered a permanent spinal injury during a stunt. Linda Blair also injured her back. Some even claim a lightning strike hit a church across the street from a theater showing the film on its opening weekend. Whether you believe in curses or chalk it up to a string of bizarre coincidences, These stories added another layer of mystique and fear to the film. It made audiences feel like they weren't just watching a movie about evil. They were brushing up against something genuinely malevolent. Director William Friedkin even brought in a priest to bless the set multiple times during production, hoping to calm the increasingly unnerved cast and crew. When the church finally sanctions an exorcism, the film introduces its second priest, Father Lancaster Marin, played with quiet, commanding authority by the great Max von Sydow. Marin is the experienced veteran exorcist. He has faced this demon before, in a different time and a different place, and he knows the immense danger they are facing. The final act of the film becomes an epic, grueling showdown in Regan's bedroom. It's an exhausting, claustrophobic battle of wills between two priests and an ancient evil, with a young girl's soul hanging in the balance. The power of this climax lies in its restraint as much as its spectacle. It's not an action-packed fight. It's a slow, methodical, spiritual war of attrition. The demon throws everything it has at them: obscenities, blasphemies, physical assaults. But Marin and Karis hold their ground, relying on the power of their ritual and their faith. The film's ending is famously ambiguous and somber. It doesn't offer a simple, happy resolution where everyone walks away unscathed. There is a great sacrifice. Good may have triumphed, but it came at a terrible cost, leaving the survivors scarred and the audience deeply unsettled. This refusal to provide easy comfort is one of the key reasons The Exorcist has endured. It feels real. It suggests that battles with darkness leave permanent marks. Decades later, The Exorcist remains the benchmark against which all possession films are measured. It was the first horror film to be nominated for a Best Picture Oscar, ultimately winning for Best Adapted Screenplay and Best Sound. It legitimized the genre in a way no film had before, proving that horror could be prestigious, intelligent, and deeply profound. Its influence is immeasurable. From its gritty, documentary-style realism to its exploration of faith and doubt, its DNA can be found in countless horror films that followed, but none have ever quite captured the same lightning in a bottle, that same raw, visceral power to terrify. It's a film that asks big questions. What is the nature of evil? How strong is our faith when truly tested? And what happens when the mundane world collides with the sacred and the profane? The Exorcist is more than just a horror movie. It's a theological thriller, a family drama, and a psychological study all rolled into one. It's a film that stays with you long after the credits roll, making you check the locks and maybe, just maybe, question what lies in the darkness. It proved that sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones we can't see. What are your memories of watching The Exorcist for the first time? Did it scare you as much as the legends say? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to read your stories. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into a true horror classic. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the world of cinema. Until next time, stay safe and keep watching.